what to say.
Thank you for taking the time.
Oh, thank you.
So, first of all, about your upcoming album, The Way It Feels. What's the main difference between this one and your last one?
Oh, well, I think the last one sounded a lot more pop rock, and this one is much more, production-wise, it's more indie, dark folk, Americana, atmospheric record. It's, I'm really loving the way it sounds, actually. It has, well, just a really great atmosphere. You know, we used a little bit of like spooky banjo on there and some pedal steel, and but it's funny because normally when I make an album, I never listen to it. It doesn't feel comfortable to me, but this one I actually want to listen to it because I love the sound of it.
Okay, and how come that it's so atmospheric or melancholic in a way?
Well, that was what I wanted to do, you know. I had, when I wrote my songs, it's always a big decision once you have a collection of songs, who to record it with and which way, because it can totally change your songs, how you, I think of it as how you're dressing the songs, you know. And it's a delicate thing because you don't, I'm very aware of how production can be, can ruin a song, you know, and you can overproduce it. And sometimes that happens by just, it's tempting in a way to layer it up and put lots of stuff on it. And I had been listening to this record in my car that I kept going back to, that I really loved, which was William Fitzsimmons' Gold in the Shadows. And I just loved the sound on that record, and there was something about it which felt familiar, but also very special, and very effortless in the production. And I realized that was the sound I wanted on my record. So I looked up the producers, and it was actually these two guys in the States, and they were very, very talented. I mean, they play every instrument and they do all the engineering. And they, you know, I just called them up basically out of the blue and said, you know, would you be up for just trying a couple of tracks with me? And they said, yeah, come on over to Charleston, which was cool because I always wanted to go to Charleston. So I thought, okay, this is the first message, that this is the right, the right step. And it just felt very natural working with them.
Are your songs addressed to a specific person, or are they more metaphorical?
My songs are always very personal, and this album is personal, and it's interesting now because when I was writing the album, I was really, it's not something I was sure I was going to talk about in interviews, but I think, you know, I need to because it's honest about the songs. And you know, I was really trying to save my marriage, and a lot of the songs are about that, you know. But in the end, it takes two people to do that. And when the record was finished, my marriage was over too. So it's a very big, you know, I'm trying to see this as, I think everything in life you can change the experience by the way you think about it and the thoughts that you choose, right? And so I'm trying to see this as a transformative period rather than a depressing period. But it's a very raw and difficult time right now. But yeah, but the songs. So when I listen back to them, it's very poignant for me because I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. So it's not a breakup record. It's a let's see, Trying to Save It record.
And did it help?
The next one will be the breakup record. Okay. So stay tuned for that.
Waiting for that one. But did it help you, the whole process, to cope with anything? Always.
I mean, that's what songwriting is for me. It's a way for me to process whatever is going on in my life. And you know, also it's a very positive, songwriting is a very positive thing because it's about making something beautiful out of the most difficult situation. You know, you can make this beautiful song out of a struggle or out of a pain, and that's what I love about music.
Okay. How do you cope with, you know, having a family and having a career? How did it
Well, that's always
altogether?
been, you know, it's not even really having a family and having a career. It's having a family and making music, you know, and that's a natural balance for me because they're both things that I need to do. But my family comes first. My son is always first, so you know, I make my music when he's at school, basically.
So your time arrangements are very strict, or?
Well, it's just a natural thing, you know. I'm not gonna take time away from him unless I do a little tour like this. Where I'm only gone for 2 weeks, and that's okay. When I go on tours, you know, to play live, then I take him with me because I think it's a great education for him.
And does he like it?
Loves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So meeting all the people and listening to music all the time.
Yeah, he loves it.
Okay. Is he?
And seeing the different countries. I mean, that's what's so great about Europe is every day it's a new experience, and
does he have a favorite artist or singer, except from his mother?
No, you know, I don't know. He likes, you know how kids are these days. I mean, he often likes to listen. He likes Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Of course, he's going to choose, you know, the stuff more that his friends are listening to. But I don't know. He likes the Foo Fighters and yeah.
Okay, so rock.
Rock. He definitely likes rock. Yeah.
What's the difference between writing lyrics for a song and writing poetry? Because you did that as well. Is there some kind of difference?
Yeah, I don't know.
Process,
it's a different place in my head, but I can't really describe why. I don't know. Writing a poem, I don't do that a lot. I mostly write songs only because when I'm thinking, it always comes with a melody. And usually I write my songs when I'm walking. So I go for a walk every day, and it's really good for me emotionally. It helps me to feel calm, and also it's always when I get my ideas. So I always take my, you know, little voice recorder and put down my ideas. And the problem is sometimes I get too many. Like when I was writing this record, I had probably 200 little fragments, and then you have to go through and say, okay, which one am I going to work on? Which one is worth it, and which one isn't? So I don't. It's hard. I wrote finished songs about 30.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's 12.
Will there be a deluxe version, something like that?
So I recorded 14 songs.
Okay.
So there'll be some a couple of bonus tracks. I don't know where we're going to put them yet, but.
Okay. Is it important for you that music is authentic?
Of course, that's the most important thing, and I think that. You know, that's what it is to really be an artist, is to make something real. And that involves taking a risk, to be honest. It involves taking a risk to expose yourself, because you need to be raw when you're writing, you know. And so that's always the fear, you know, is that you're exposing too much. But at the same time, I don't think you're making anything valid or real or good unless you're taking a risk.
Have you had bad experiences with, you know, being so honest in your music?
No, I've only had good experiences, really, because those are the songs, the more honest, the more you're sharing your experience, the more you're going to connect with people, because that's what music does, right? It goes out there, and that means something to someone else from their own story. And so I've only had positive reactions to that, yeah, for sure.
Okay. How is it for you? You know, would you say that acceptance of female singer-songwriters has changed in the last years?
I don't know. I haven't really been examining that. I mean, I really just make my music, and I don't really think too much about the industry in that sense. I mean, what I do find disappointing is how culturally, in general, things seem to have gone a little bit backwards for women. You know, when you listen to a lot of the music that's on the radio, the pop music, there's so much stuff that's degrading to women. That's just about, it's just about physical. It objectifies women, and I feel like we've gone so far backwards from any kind of empowerment to women, and it's scary to me, because this is what the young girls are growing up with, you know. And I have a boy, and I don't even want him to really listen to the radio because of the content of so much of the songs. I'm like, what image is he getting of women? You know? So it's sad to me that we've moved that way as a global society.
What kind of music did you grow up?
Well, I grew up with the sort of singer-songwriters and rock bands of the 70s, early 60s and 70s, my parents' music collection. So, I mean, you know, but great songwriters. And what I will say, though, that is encouraging is how songs are sort of maybe starting to become more important in mainstream music, like you listen to Ed Sheeran or something, and it's all about great songwriting. And so that's really cool to me, and I love that someone like that with an acoustic guitar and some beats, of course, is number one in the charts. That's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can one imagine being so far away? How's living in Bermuda?
How is it? Well, for me, it's really normal.
Okay.
Because it's how I grew up, and I like being in the warmth. First of all, I'm not good in cold. And I like to be in nature. For me, that's spirituality. For me, is just to be connected with nature. So, you know, I walk outside every day, and I'm in my bare feet, and it feels good. But I'm also, what I like about being there is my family is there, and to have that connection is important to me. So there, you know, there's another side of Bermuda, which is kind of the tax haven and the reinsurance companies and the tourism, but that's not really the part that I engage with. It's just my roots.
Okay, and is it as Caribbean and as mystical as one imagines it?
It's really beautiful, and I would highly recommend everybody goes there to visit because it's unbelievably beautiful. The sea is like a color. You know, when my friend came there, she had never been anywhere like that, and she said, I really thought that they colored the postcards. So I didn't think it could be real. And you know, the sand is pink, and yeah, it's special. It's a really special place. Yeah.
You've traveled a lot. Do you have some, except for the Bermudas, some kind of place you love?
Yeah, I really love Italy. I love the feeling of the culture there, and you know, I like all of Europe really. That's why I come and tour here so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to the last question actually.
Okay.
What are your plans for 2015 and 2016?
Right. So my plans for 2015 involve this record, really. So I'm going to be promoting it and touring, you know, playing it live. And I don't really look further ahead than that.
Okay. Are there some collaborations planned, like you did with Escobar?
No, those things always happen. If they're going to happen, they happen organically. You know, maybe I meet somebody and we hit it off, or somebody asks me. I don't have any collaborations planned at the moment.
And how do you choose your opening acts?
So my opening acts, yeah. Well, lately, in the last sort of, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, I've chosen friends.
Okay.
People I like to travel with, who I also enjoy their music. So I've taken some artists from Bermuda who I think deserve to have some exposure, and I've taken my cousin Sarah Johnston, and last tour I took my brother Mishka, and I'm going to take him again on this tour because it was just so great to get to hang out with him all the time. And yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thanks.